don't know.
Right now, this one's not going to be on Jason's top list because we are talking about lady bits.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I love that dick.
Right.
Dick. What does it say? How loose is your pussy, Caitlin? Might be time for a douche.
Yeah. Also, he didn't say loose. You might want to try to read it again.
How loose? Fuck, man, I'm giving them shit about the grammar. I can't even read. How loose is your pussy, Caitlin? Might be time for a douche. Kid, Jesus is part of our history. You are really dumb, aren't you? And then Caitlin responds, what exactly have you won? Also, the word you look for is loose. Caitlin.
Oh,
Caitlin, you failed.
The word you look for is loose, not lose.
Okay, the word you look for
looks like we're a bunch of fucking hypocrites here.
Yeah.
Hypocrites.
He says the guys, you're a bunch of hypocrites. God damn, we can't fucking talk.
I'm really high right now, so I have an excuse. What is your fucking all of you?
Okay.
So anyway, the thing I was responding to before is this Jesus Saves guy was like, bah, you have 300 dislikes. I have won. And I'm like, what have you won? What are you winning here? I don't understand what he's winning.
And what the hell does a vagina's tightness have to do with douching?
Yeah, it does.
Cleanliness.
Exactly nothing. Also, what does my vagina have to do with a fucking eclipse?
Because he's being a good Christian. He wanted to make sure that your vagina was clean.
Also, what do pussies lose exactly other than innocence?
Elasticity?
It depends. Sometimes when women get old, they go through menopause, they get drier.
Really, that's not been my experience.
That's not. Can we go to the next comment, please?
Girls.
Well, elaborate, Leon Gibson.
Bro, stop it! You have zero basis for this video in debunking the flat Earth. Shake my head. What a waste of time.
But the thing is, you do. I mean, maybe I'm biased, but the things you said made sense to me, and you have zero basis for this video in debunking. I want to know what. I want this person to elaborate.
See, that's the thing. They can't.
Oh.
They can't. Here's the thing. You will never find a flat earther actually debate the content. What they'll just say is, this is fake, this is bullshit. They'll never explain why, because they can't. They cannot give the counter argument. All they can say is it's wrong. They can't explain why it's wrong.
Right.
Well, and if you were to ask them, like, specifically, what did you find wrong with this? And they'll pull something out of their ass. And then when you respond with an answer to it, they'll be like, you just don't want to open your mind. You need to do research.
Exactly.
Well, the thing is, though, is what I want to know from these people. Just push aside what they think. When they say do your research, like, I don't understand what they think. What they think of the research that's been done. Like, people have already done the research.
No, that doesn't count. The only two things in the world counts as research. These people. One is YouTube videos,
right?
And two are websites that look like they were made in the 1990s.
Oh, like John Lear's website. Check out John Lear's website. That motherfucker thinks there's a soul-catching device on the other side of the moon.
Yeah,
his website's brilliant. 1990s era. It's pretty nice. So
I need to find a video about the soul-catching thing on the other side of the moon.
Look up John Lear. He talks. I mean, a lot of people give David Icke a lot of shit, especially on that podcast, Cognitive Dissonance. But people don't realize John Lear is like level fucking 70 in his fucking craziness.
So sad considering his lineage.
Yeah.
He came
Well, I mean, which level is that in Scientology again?
Well, Scientology would be about an 11.
Oh, okay.
Because they know what they're doing.
He's 3.4 Tom Cruises.
Yeah, they there we go. But yeah, I would like this in regards to that last comment. I would like to, and what Jeremy said, I wish somebody like in the comment section of this video would post like, okay, we also get our research from. Because I'd like to see exactly what the fuck are they like when they say do your research. At least they could provide links for us, right? Instead, they don't. But if they have something to give us, I'd love to look it up and see what they have to say.
Yeah.
But it's nothing but YouTube and like what you said.
All right. The joke is on you.
No. The jokes is on you.
Sorry, my rational fucking brain is getting in the way.
Arrogance.
The jokes is on you. You just too foolish and arrogant to realize it.
Wait, hold on. Can I stop right there real quick? I love how poor this guy's grammar is, but he still got the right instance of the word "to." He used the correct.
Well, there were two other options.
Away here.
So this might be a troll then. Real quick before you go any further, I honestly, just like I think Alex Jones is fake and I don't think he's real. I mean, he's a real person, but I think all the shit he does is a joke. I honestly think 99% of the people out there that do this are just trolling people.
Yeah.
Because some of this shit, you're like, there's no way you think that you have to be a troll.
The solar eclipse should last a few days because the Earth rotates once every 24 hours equals you rotate in the moon's shadow, but the moon's orbit around the Earth is once every 30 days.
I'll explain this.
What?
What the fuck's happening right now?
I get what he's saying. Keep going.
With the sun fixed on the Earth ecliptic plane at the Earth's center, so the eclipse therefore cannot last a few minutes. What we are taught in the education system is that the moon orbits the Earth as the Earth orbits the sun. Therefore, the moon's speed cannot be constant as it orbits the Earth as the Earth orbits the sun equals it should have to go faster in the direction of the Earth orbit around the sun and slower in the opposite direction. This simple fact tells you that the moon phase or cycles cannot be constant. The Earth is not a spinning ball. You have made yourself the clown laughing at people who can see something is very wrong with the heliocentric model. That doesn't make you intelligent. It makes you foolish. It is not funny that humanity is being misled and enslaved by wicked people in power. For how much longer will you keep laughing and taunting? Not much, as you will soon see.
You know, a lot of times in life, I think to myself, maybe I'm really stupid because I read things like this and I feel like I should know what they're talking about. Like, I feel like I should, but then I hear from other people that this writing is so all over the place. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand what the fuck he's trying to say. And I feel like I should. I feel like everyone knows but me. Like, I feel like there's something wrong with me.
Okay. I get him at first. I understand, but then we get to the end, and he just threw so much shit that it's so difficult to understand where to start here.
And how are we being enslaved by wicked people over this?
No, man.
It's the Jews.
Fucking bring up that.
It's the Jew Illuminati.
Fucking A. So the whole thing that he's talking about, you know, you have the eclipse, which is basically this, right? You can't see my backhand. But what he's not taking into consideration is, as let's say I'm the sun and I'm actually orbiting
his head is the sun.
I'm the Earth orbiting the sun. We kind of start to go like this. Well, now we can see the moon and we can see the sun again. So even if the moon orbits relatively slowly around the Earth, we are changing our perspective around the two of them. Yeah. So basically consider this. Take two oranges and put them on a table. Get eye level with the table, and then so you can only see the orange in front. You can't see the orange in the back. Then take one step to the right, and then look at them. Yeah. That's what the Earth did.
But again, this goes back to this person's viewpoint on how the whole thing works to begin with. So they're coming from a basis of, we're coming from from the right way, essentially. As we orbit around the sun and our moon orbits around us, they probably don't think that. They probably think that
and I was with
everything sits still,
Right, and I was with them at that first. I can understand why somebody might think that at the very beginning. So, I mean, it wasn't exactly it wasn't a stupid question at the beginning, or claim at least. It was ignorant, but not dumb. It's just that he didn't know any better, and I get where he was coming from.
Right.
But then he just goes into this fucking word salad bullshit that I have no idea what he's talking about.
Good.
Humanity is being misled by NASA, or SNASA, rather. SNASA.
NASA? Humanity's being
secret
misled
NASA.
By secret NASA, Illuminati, reptilians at it again.
Yeah. When the globe theory came out, Maddie fatbacks. I have a fat back too. We're both the same right now. Let me read what you wrote.
Did you know when the globe theory came out, there was no way to test this theory? Hundreds of years passed and it was the norm. So how have we been to the moon? But NASA just said they haven't been out of lower Earth orbit. Do some research and free your mind.
No, NASA said that we haven't been out of lower Earth orbit in the last 30 years because we haven't needed to.
Right.
So they're not saying they haven't been out at all. But they said, in the last 30 years, we haven't been out of lower Earth orbit. We have no reason to, and no funding to do it.
Does Maddie Obeseback know that when the globe theory came out that there were, you can do those tests today.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You could go to another part of the globe and you could put on a little fucking shadow stick. And
if we were to take a stick and put it into the ground, and then we were to have GE take a stick and put it into the ground, we would find the exact distance between us and him.
Yeah.
And then exactly at noon, we measure how long our shadow is, and then test how long his shadow is. We can find the circumference of the fucking
So this
planet.
first sentence is just complete utter bullshit. And this person who claims this person didn't actually say do the research, but I'm sure they have at one point. Maybe they should research the research and maybe...
Yeah, well, it wasn't even, it was the reason why we even know it was a globe. Hundreds of years passed, it was the norm. But we knew it was a globe. We just didn't know how big the globe was for those hundreds of years.
And in addition to the whole do some research and free your mind, the whole so how have we been to the moon, but NASA just said, well, with what you said, NASA apparently has said that, but they just, this part left out that in the last 30 years. And
yeah.
It's like they want to pick and choose. Cherry picking.
Yeah. Well, it's a straw man argument, that last bit about being at a low Earth orbit. It's also kind of alluding to the whole Van Allen radiation belt. And then, of course, the globe theory came out. Well, the globe theory was first hypothesized back in the 6th century BCE. Right. And then the 3rd century is when the shadow experiment was done to estimate the circumference of the Earth.
Was that before Christ or after death?
Oh, shut the fuck up. It was before the Common Era, okay?
Right, before Christ.
Yeah.
This guy's probably reads one book every 5 years. Research Flat Earth. How many books on the Flat Earth are there?
Well, I know there's one from the actual originator of the modern Flat Earth movement where he's basically refuting like the modern astronomical claims. I
heard a guy in Coast to Coast AM like 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm still looking for this interview, but he was on an interview basically talking about it, and he was in charge or second in command, and the way I took it from his interview was that it was what they were doing was more or less a way to show that you can argue anything. And I may be wrong though. Maybe I'm gonna listen to the interview again and it's like completely different. But I always understood that that's what the flat Earth was, which is now why all these YouTube warriors that are all about the flat Earth are kind of renouncing that group now, right? Because they're kind of saying, no, we're not. This is dumb. And so again, with researching the flat Earth, point me in the right direction, man. Make sure it's not a YouTube video. I want to read actual evidence.
You almost said science.
You're just going to come up with Eric Dubay. Like that's what's been peddling right now. is Eric Dubay. And I mean, most of these people are like, look, if you just do the research, and like, I really don't know what kind of research I could do that's not biased and come out on their side.
Well, look, I'll tell you this right now. If I go up to Rachel and I have a question about evolution, even if I have a very hard time understanding it, which I do sometimes because that's not my niche, she never gets to the point where she's just like, fuck it, do your own research. She always has an answer, and the answer is always backed up by science. It's not what she thinks. It's what science has, you guys all know how science works, but basically how all that shit comes together. So to me, it's very disheartening if somebody comes up with any sort of hypothesis, and it seems like it doesn't take much for these people to go to research the flat earth versus going, hey, no, let me explain this to you because you don't understand. And that's why he was saying earlier, if I had a question, and I've asked you a few questions about, the other day I asked him a question about clouds, and instead of him going, do your fucking research, you piece of shit, it was, oh, well, this is why it does what it does, and blah, blah, blah. And that's something, if I'm going to be convinced by something, I'm going to be convinced more likely with somebody that has the rhetoric of, here, let me help you, versus somebody who treats you like you're a fucking idiot. Well, and has that conspiracy theorist Alex Jones rhetoric. And that's the problem with these people. I can't take them seriously, and I don't give them the chance ever, because when they act like fucking little pompous bitches, and they're always angry all the time, it reminds me of Alex Jones. I can't latch onto that. So if this motherfucker's fooling me into believing that the globe is or the earth is a globe and that's a great, well, he's doing a good job, because his rhetoric is he has more candor than I've seen with some of these fucking comments.
My biggest problem with the whole research flat earth thing is they don't seem to make any positive claims. And by positive claims is they posit their own claims. What they attempt to do, and do poorly, is debunk what we observe and what we've seen happen since, the dawn of the idea that the Earth is a globe. And that's the real problem I've come across, is because it's just, there is no positive information out there supporting the flat Earth. It's all, well, this isn't true, or this isn't true, or this is a conspiracy, or something like that. And that stuff is easily dismissible because they are within themselves claims with zero evidence to support them.
And also it's this idea that I have of, why the fuck are you guys so angry? It is so comical to me. Like, even, do the dinosaurs care whether or not the Earth is flat or not? No, they fucking ate each other, and then a meteor wiped them out, and none of that shit mattered anyway. Like, have fun.
See, it's because to them it's not fact-driven. It's an opinion.
An emotion.
Yeah, and then emotions are tied to opinions.
And everyone's out to get us. Yeah.
Gotta love those conspiracy theories.
We're gonna get some good comments on this video.
Good.
$5 says someone calls me a fag, and someone makes fun of my weight, and someone makes fun of my beard. So that's 3.
And your hat.
And my hat, and the way I'm talking, and I'm chewing gum, and I'm high, and I drink Diet Mountain Dew.
Brandon, go to every toilet bowl in the world. The water sits perfectly level, and I'm using it to shit you turds down your master, the devil.
I was wrong. This is the best comment I've seen in a long time. The venom that is spewing forth.
Okay, let me just put it this way. Your master, the devil. First of all, we don't believe in your sky wizard. We sure as fuck don't believe in your ground troll.
I'm fine with the devil being my master. I'll say it. I'm okay with it.
It depends on which portrayal of the devil. I mean,
the devil's a good guy. Look, God does all the writing, right?
Yeah.
Wars are won. The history is written by the winners of the war.
Very true.
Poor devil guy never gets to say. He's probably the good guy trying to fucking help humanity, and God's fooling us all.
But go ahead, John.
Well, I was just gonna say, I mean, if you really took a critical look at the Bible, I mean, the devil or whatnot, Satan, is always just doing whatever God tells him to do.
Yeah.
And like the people want to postulate that the devil is the serpent in the Garden of Eden, and I know. But even if that were true, that just means that they weren't like he wasn't trying to deceive Adam and Eve or anything. It was pointing them to the tree of knowledge, saying like, "Hey, look, he's got some shit that he doesn't want you to know about." And
so the devil is God, and God is the devil. The devil being the great deceiver, who is deceiving everybody. Think about it, dude. God is actually the devil, the great deceiver, fooling everybody into worshiping him.
I actually had I made a video based off of a story I wrote a long time ago. You know what I would do if I was the devil, and one of them was I'd make my way back up to Earth, and I'd get all these people to follow me and believe me, and I'd die for their sins, but that'd all be a bunch of bullshit, and then everybody would start believing in me, and I would end up getting all their souls. So how do you know that the devil's not Jesus? Jesus not the devil?
This guy does a lot of drugs, man. I'm telling you.
I do no drugs. That's a scary guy. But anyway, to go back to his original thing, you know, every toilet in the world, the water sits perfectly level. That's because, once again, that is the most uniform shape, you know, the water can take.
Well, what does he expect the water? What does he expect the water to be a curve to? I mean, come on, dude.
Well, okay, look, legit. These people expect to take like a baseball and throw water at it, and the water sticks to the ball.
No, one of my favorite arguments I saw the other day in a flat Earth group was someone's like, "How come we don't have pictures of buildings leaning in towards each other? Because that would happen on a globe." It's like, no, you monumental retard. Yeah, because
on a basketball, maybe.
You know, yeah, exactly, right? Because they expect the globe to be so small that the difference between the base of a building would actually, you know, the curve would make the base of a building lean.
You could do this experiment in real life. You could take a basketball and then somehow make a ball that's like 50 foot in diameter and have the same scale of a building on a basketball, and take that same scale, put it on a fucking 50 foot diameter ball, and you're going to still notice the curvature in the bigger model, but it's not going to be as drastic as on the basketball. I mean, that's what we're talking, and that's what I said before. I don't feel like these people understand how big things are.
Yeah, I don't think we're talking about a 26,000 mile circumference here.
If you look at we, as small as we are, we can walk. We see hills, we see mountains, but if you look at the entire globe, it's so flat. It's so not flat like flat, but it's so smooth. That's what the word I'm. It's like one of the smoothest surfaces in our.
Smoother than a billiard ball.
Yeah. But that's because it's so big, and when we take ourselves out of, we can see everything that is smooth and high. I'm done talking. Go ahead. All caps. Love it.
Flat earthers do not say firmament. Basically, only the shills. There is no proof for that. There is a straw man, or this is a straw man / red herring argument. Logical fallacy. You are a moron. Wake up, slave. Actually read some FE material if you can read.
Okay,
you're a slave. Huh?
I just want to point this out. I hate mainstream, which goes to an argument that I've made that most of these people, no matter what the mainstream says, they'll automatically believe the opposite. They're contrarians. They don't actually believe this stuff. They just want to believe the opposite. So they don't accept evolution, because most people accept evolution. I mean, they probably believe that the earth is, the sky is pink, or, because everything is blue, or, down is up and up is down. They just want to be the opposite of.
Well, this is what I was saying before too. Like when your YouTube name is "I Hate Mainstream," you've already set yourself to me as one of those Alex Jones types, and I'm immediately gonna probably not listen to you, because you're not going to come off as someone who's calm and has good candor and everything. You come off as a fucking loon.
Okay, and also I'm so sick of the word shills. I see that so often from conspiracy theorists, because nobody's fucking getting paid. Okay, to be a shill, you have to be getting an income. Period.
Right.
You have to be getting a paycheck to push a specific argument.
I mean, I will say though. I'm not a big fan of mainstream media either, and I understand that sentiment, and I'm not one of those people that walk around thinking that our government's perfect, and there have been crazy conspiracies in the past, but to have the mindset that it's always like that, that's the problem I have, is where your worldview starts with this, everyone's out to get me, and everybody's trying to pull the wool over your eyes. It's like, not only everybody is, guy. Like, just calm down.
Well, I'm kind of curious that if these people are shills or whatnot, like people that are that accept the fact that the Earth is a globe, like if they are shills and everything like that, like what is the end goal of it?
Right.
Like what is the end goal of the Illuminati to get us to think that the Earth is round? Like what is
They say it's money, and that makes no sense to me. That like NASA, for instance, they're lying to inflate their budget. Why wouldn't they say, okay, we're going to explore the oceans on the planet and still get the same budget? It makes no sense to me.
Well, I mean, why don't we see like more ludicrous claims like, oh, there is the cure for cancer on the far side of the moon, so we got to get over there now. We just forgot to pick it up on our last Apollo mission. I mean, if they have so much power, then why don't they do something like that? And it just
that's actually a really good point.
Yeah.
I actually hadn't thought
about
that.
But see, with conspiracy theories, though, it's not really about that. It's about knowing something that nobody else knows.
Basically what he's saying is, if there really was a conspiracy...
Oh, no, I get what he's saying.
Why not say, there's the cure for AIDS on Mars, or there's unlimited wealth on Neptune or something? Right.
I get... Okay, all right. This guy must work for NASA. Again, NASA is just one small part of...
It's funny whenever I bring up that I have worked for NASA in the past as an independent contractor. They're like, well, there you go.
Shill.
There you go, you shill. I'm like, yeah, I set up test labs for them. I'm pretty sure that has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. Test labs for the rocket.
But still, I mean, I've worked for DynCorp, and that's a really big military civilian company, and just because I work for the company doesn't mean I know that I was a helicopter mechanic. I didn't know the ins and outs of everything that went on. In fact, what we did was just a small part of what DynCorp did. So anytime someone says this guy must work for NASA, I just think, all right, you're just one body, part of a small corporation that's part of this larger. I wish they would, instead of blaming NASA for all this bullshit, I just wish they would blame Lawrence Krauss. Blame Lawrence Krauss, because he's...
it'd be funny, like, I work for NASA, I'm a fucking janitor at one of their facilities.
Yeah. But see, there is, I remember one time I was leaving base, and I remember seeing a bunch of these, there were drones, they turned out to be drones, they were getting carted in. But it was like at 3 a.m. because that was the only time there was less traffic. And when you look at these trucks, and actually this made it to the newspaper, it looked like UFOs. And I remember the word around town was UFOs. I'm like, no, I watched them get unpacked. They're drones. But it's funny, like, they could have looked at me and said, you work for DynCorp, so you're getting paid to lie. Those were really UFOs. And here I am going, no, they're fucking drones, dude. It's funny how the perspective changes when you're, like, on the side. Like, when you work for NASA, it's funny.